Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? What's up, Cody? What's up, Derek? What's up, Traveler? Um, hey, Cody. What's up, Gigan? Cody has the new channel members seal. It's the first time I think I've seen it. So I don't think I said anything about it. I just kind of did it and figured if people found it. So there you go. Clearly, obviously, I have Gig Geezer here with me today, and he made it just in the nick of time. I mean, he said he might make it today, and I said cool, and he ended up making it. But I know he was cutting it close, so I know I think you had a long load today, right? Or you had a long drive.
Yeah, I actually came in. Well, I had a load that started from Sumter, South Carolina, dropping off in Jacksonville. And so, what kind of made it cutting close was that I also took advantage of a last mile gig app opportunity, and it took a little longer, which then put me in a position where I would really be cutting it close.
Okay,
Mhm.
so you got a last mile gig app coming back,
Yeah, in Jacksonville, right? Mhm.
or was it a partial, or was it back all the way?
Um, it was. I mean, it was what it was. I mean,
Yeah.
it was two
Yeah, I
slabs,
mean,
two slabs of.
you take it. No, I mean, did it come all the way back to home, or was it just
Oh no,
partial?
it was local. It was local in
Okay,
Jacksonville. Mhm.
okay. Hey, Gigan, right on. Thank you. Um, so yeah, we got some bad orders to show you here this week, guys. So I figured it's not a hate one, but you guys always see all these great offers, and I'd like to
Mhm.
showcase those. But after Geezer was on the round table, we talked about
Not
is anything
glamorizing.
glamorized? I just I thought, well, we should probably show you because it's not like everything I see is amazing. I just get enough volume in my market to be able to pick, but at the same time, I need to note that it's not like DoorDash. I'm not seeing 200 offers to accept 10. But it can be like within a minute, I can see an offer that's amazing local, and I can see one for the same pay that's like going to go 50 miles.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's not Curri. Curri has a way of doing an increase, but they let the customers input the price they want. So I mean, we get kind of like I get used to things. Like I would do a lot of Sherman Williams. They just must have a standing order because it seems to be what it is kind of thing all the time. It's pretty good. But I'm
Mhm.
going to show you guys some ones that there aren't a chance I'd take. Geezer sent some some really bad roadies, and I have one from last week that I just want to really hit into. What's up, Trader? What's up, John? How are you guys?
And don't forget Bungie. And sorry if it looks like I'm
Oh
looking up.
yeah. I don't
Um,
know the order they'll go in because
okay.
let me see. And first of all, too, I wanted to tell everybody, you guys know that I have done over 1,000 curries now. I've never self-assigned even one. And it used to be your rating is based on the last five. So if you have like a little struggle with one or you get a 4-star and you're like, dang, you can just do five more and it gets bumped off. It's not like any of the other ones. It gets done quick. But even I got this in my app and I've never done it. It says, this was a one of those things where when you open the app, you got to hit, I understand. But it said unassigning causes delays. Violations will be issued for all future unassignments. I don't even know what that means. A violation will be issued. I'm gonna have to ask the team this because I don't know. I've never even unassigned one. So to me, this is it's pretty crazy. Clearly, it went out to everybody, so I'm not offended. I want to know what it is because I do know that I've told you guys do not self unassign. I've said that since the beginning. Don't do it. It's not like DoorDash or a food delivery app. If you take one of these, take it. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, I think I guess the way I loaded them up, we'll start with some bad roadies. So, and I mean, the one I'm gonna be like,
Okay. Yeah, I remember this one. Okay. Go ahead.
okay, so you go, well, walk us through this because,
Alrighty. Now I'm going to give y'all personal history. I've been active on the Roadie app right at about 5 years now. I was onboarded October 2018, and I've seen Roadie really change in terms of what it used to pay, and it ain't what it used to be, y'all. Not to mention, in terms of driver support, it used to be you could call Atlanta and speak to someone like I'm talking to Steve right now. In fact, sometimes you would be able to renegotiate a rate um, based if you had a valid argument and all. But now Roadie is has devolved to the levels of DoorDash. Now, this one here, from Columbia to Prosperity. Um, Prosperity is in the next county. And as you can tell, the miles is 27. So you're going off into the sticks a bit. $59 to lug 1,300 pounds is an absolute joke. I mean, that's slave labor.
I mean,
There,
if it gets over 1,000 pounds, I don't care if you're going a mile. This is me. I
mhm.
mean, you need to be in the $100 range.
Easily.
I mean, just for doing anything with it.
Right. And since you like Curry so much, something like this, if I saw this on Curry based on my side of the ledger
Yeah.
being carrier, that's easily for me a $200. I'm bidding at least 200, more than likely 250 on it.
Right.
Now I may not get it, but if I get it, then I'm gonna make some money on it. And
Right.
I'm
But I also know you well enough that you're not like going, you understand the reality of other people are bidding too. So you're
Mhm.
keeping it realistic. What I need to make on this.
Right. And just for whatever it's worth, in my situation, a lot of times what happens is some dumbass thirsty will bid low, and then they get there and see what it is, and then it's like,
Yep.
and then the courier come back to me and say, "Hey, are you still interested in that?" And then yeah,
You know, with these though, the thing I don't like about the roadies either, because I'm with you. I was on roadie when there was work to be done that was pretty good, but it actually wasn't with UPS yet.
no, it was just roadie. It
Yeah,
was
they
just
were
roadie.
standalone. Yeah, so they were in that honeymoon period and they were their own app and all that good stuff. But um with the roadies, I don't like that they call it a bid because at least on my side, I don't know if Lake Curry it's got its own side for you for the bigger vehicles, but you're not bidding. You're just saying,
No,
yes, I'll take that offer, and then you're waiting to see if you get it.
right. Based on proximity, based on your past history.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
I mean, the
there's
offer
some
here's
your
my point is
rating.
the
Yeah.
the offers
Mhm.
are so bad that
Mhm.
this shouldn't be a bidding system. I mean, like if I'm accepting it, just give it to me or put me into the
Yeah.
round robin or whatever you're doing and make it instant because it's not like it's a good offer where I'm going, gosh, I hope I get that. Like,
Well, here's something that's even crazier. You'll get somebody to show up in a Honda Civic
yeah,
or an SUV or a Ford Ranger, and they end up having to turn around and leave. It happens all the time.
yeah, yeah. I've seen Priuses show up for things that I mean, it not even could it be done on the roof kind of thing.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. So what about this guy here?
Okay, Lexington to Chapin, that's kind of the same thing. That's deep Chapin down by the water. And you're talking 600 pounds, $45, slave labor, same thing. Um, it's that's just a bad offer. Um, Again, if I were to use a Curry app, I would bid at a minimum 150 at a minimum.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how many miles is it?
It's actually 19 miles, but it's actually longer.
Yeah,
One
but
thing
it also
about
says 46 minutes too, and that tells me a
right.
lot. That tells me it's not
Well,
an easy drive.
no, because you're going way off into you get up there and then you got to drive back in. So so it. One thing that I've people never talk about this though, but the apps use what's called the straight line method, meaning that in
Oh,
math, if you always the shortest point between the shortest distance between two points is a straight line, and that's what they do. They base that on a straight line method and not the actual topography or contours of the route or whichever way you want to use whatever word you want to use though. But the actual miles is probably more like about I want to say between 25 and 30 miles,
which is
and that
that
doesn't include traffic.
that's ridiculous too because they're showing you the route. They know how many miles that is. They don't need to go start to end. You don't have a boat,
Mm.
like
Yeah, you're not driving the Mach 5 where you can hit
so I
J.
mean, like that's weird, yeah. But I don't even know if I'd do it for your 150.
Well, I mean,
Maybe.
150.
I mean, I guess it would depend on my day, but it sounds like it's gonna be a lot of time. I guess it's different
Not
for you. I mean, like when you see 600 or 1,200 pounds, does that mean like one or two pallets to you?
it's
Or is
actually
it, are they going to
it's not
be
even
extra
palletized.
items that are going to be like, like, oh, how am I going to get this in? And
Well, that looks like potting soil.
okay.
That looks like potting soil. If it's like 50 pounds each, then you know it's probably cement or potting soil, mulch, something to that effect.
Okay.
So
But they're not
that's
even palletized. So you're literally loading up every bag.
it could very well be. I mean, it depends on the store.
Yeah.
If it's another home improvement place, it could come on a pallet. Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking that this is probably going to be carted out to you, and so you're looking at 15 bags of something.
Yeah.
More than likely 15 bags. So that's why I would say 150.
Yeah. And what else do we got here?
Oh boy.
What
Lexington
is this
to the
guy?
middle of nowhere. S Steel is down by the Georgia border. Uh,
Does that
100
say,
miles.
does that say 96 miles?
Yeah, it's actually more than that though. But
Jesus.
yeah, I mean Lexington to let's see, that's 321, and then you take 321 down. Um, that's taking the back road scenic route there. I know S Steel is off of 321, but you probably have to go take a 95, 26 to 95 to avoid some of the fifes on that road because you got some speed traps. But anyway, imagine a DoorDash order, $10. You got 10 DoorDash order, 10 miles for $4. That's basically what this is.
So I know that the details aren't here, but I mean, what
It's
was this?
medication. It's medication.
Okay, so it's a single medication delivery.
Yeah, single
Like it
medication
wasn't
delivery.
multiple deliveries. Okay, so
No, it's probably going to a facility that's contracted with Rhodey.
oh, I
Uh,
see. Okay,
yeah, it's a chain. It's a chain of them, Pruitt Healths, and
wow, that pay is offensive.
yeah, like I said, imagine a 10-mile DoorDash order for $4. That's basically what you're talking about.
Yeah, or I mean, yeah, to me, that's just trash. Um,
Oh, this is even better.
well, this one's less miles at least,
Yeah, it's in Camden. It's going up the road,
but it's
but
2,100 pounds.
yeah, and the heaviest item is 150 pounds, man.
Wow.
I mean, if somebody's thirsty enough, I mean, somebody show up in their Honda Accord or their Nissan Altima and take a shot at it. Or, but so you said a Ranger, somebody would show up in a Ranger with something like this. It's not likely somebody's going to show up in a Sprinter van or box truck. It's not likely. And so, there's another option. If someone came up there with a trailer, a trailer hitched up to their F-150 or even a Ranger, that's possible. But I mean, 2,100 pounds for $44, and you risk straining your back or hurting your shoulder or
Yeah.
something to that effect.
Or
These people,
just the, I mean, not damage, but the exuberant wear and tear that 2,100 pounds is doing. I mean, look, if it's paying enough, like Geezer and I have said, like run your cars into the ground, put as many miles on them as you can. But there's a limit
right,
of like, dude, don't put 2,200 pounds in my car. And then,
right.
I mean, it is beating the car a little more. It's making your gas mileage where everything goes downhill.
Right. Well, again, something like this, $2,100, 2,100 pounds. No, I'm looking for 250 at a minimum.
I would
Minimum.
want to show up for this in a Yugo.
Oh boy. Okay, for those y'all who are not old enough to know about the Yugos, imagine a Hyundai Excel. But that's going back as well, Hyundai Excel. But imagine a Kia Soul showing up for this. And somebody may show up with a Kia Soul for something like this as well. A Yugo.
I'm from Michigan, and it was really odd when I was in high school. There was a Yugo blown off the Mackinac Bridge. It was really sad. The person died, obviously.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, no, they were crossing the bridge, and a wind was enough to pick it up and flip it into the water.
Oh man! Wow.
So it's just those things are just very. They're
Okay,
probably
this
collector's items. I don't know now. I don't
and
know.
this is considered extra large going from Columbia to Hartsville. Okay, uh, just for the lay of the land, if Hartsville is off the main off of I-20, it's it's kind of in the sticks as well. But there's some factories and plants there. But the fact of the matter is that you're going from Columbia, like in a more popular area, out to Hartsville. So you're driving about an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes, $46, even though it's some lightweight stuff. Um,
And then
here's
needing something back.
no, that's one rate.
That's
That's
what
one
no,
rate.
that's what I'm saying. Is that now
Mhm.
not on top of this,
Oh, right,
you're
yeah,
gonna we talk about hoping you get something back. On this one, you're gonna need something back.
right. And it's not likely of late catching something out of Hartsville on other apps or even Florence. It's just not likely, or even Camden. If it were 2 months ago, I would say you could take a chance at parlaying that. But even then, you're talking 75. If you're talking dollars per mile, 75 cents a mile for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this is your this is your bungee.
No, that's actually point pickup.
Oh, okay. This one's point pickup. Okay.
Yeah, and this is actually in town. It's a tire order. Well, on point pickup, I mean it's really, it could be shameful with some of the ones that you do on point pickup. The only way that you can make point pickup work is if you catch two of them to
See, I
whatever
still have
location.
point pickup. I don't even think I've opened it in probably 6 months.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
just stopped. I mean, and it wasn't even like then. It was still good. There was
Mhm.
when I first on board, I'm like, I'll try this,
Right.
but it burnt out with me quicker than VHO. So
I'm thinking that was probably one tire, but are you gonna go? I mean, this is like a DoorDash order. This is just as bad as a DoorDash order. And you see,
right.
and I've seen those thirsties show up, man, in their thirst mobiles for something like this. Um, and they think they're really doing something by taking a tire $6 to a tire shop.
Yeah, I
Now,
actually, you know what? When I was at the tire shop last week, when
mhm,
I have the insurance on my tires because with doing
mhm,
curry and all this kind of work, I get a lot of
mhm,
nails in them. It's something that
mhm,
happens a decent amount. Usually they
yeah,
just get fixed, but I was having had to sit there longer than normal, and I actually watched. I don't know if they were roadie people or if they were point pickup or what, but I watched a lot of people come into the discount tire I was at
mhm.
who were
It
bringing a
was
tire or taking one, and I could tell, like, dude, what are you doing? Like they were waiting a while to get it.
mhm.
They were waiting in the line of people who were waiting to get their cars serviced with a tire, and I could tell. I just knew, like, you're doing that stuff from the app that pays crap.
Mhm.
So
There are a couple of apps that where it does pay if you can get either two or three of them, or but usually you've got to stack it with something in order to make it worth your while. And this is my thing, always stacking orders across multiple apps. If you got to be strategic, or it's not going to make it worth your while.
yeah. So then
Okay, this is
this is
Bungie.
the bungee.
Yeah, Bungie. Oh, those motherfuckers, man. um, I mean, 1,600 pounds.
Yeah.
I think there's something on the other side with that one. It may have been sheetrock or
Let me
something like
see.
that. Uh, there's another one. No. Okay, let's go back then. But it's along the same
No,
lines, though.
no.
Okay, that's another one. That's another Bungie. That one's even worse. 2,500 pounds, two people. They're going to get paid $48.65 each. Yes. And Bungie thinks that you're supposed to show up there within 15 minutes of the start time and no later than 15 minutes, and do everything according to what the drop off instructions are, so that you can be paid maybe $48.65. Most times you don't get paid that amount. It's usually a tick less. Yes.
Who takes this?
Some dumbass thirsty motherfuckers. That's who take them.
But you don't. But they won't even be like, if they're thirsty, it's not going to help. They're going to owe more money by the time they're done.
Well, no, they just tell you to shut the fuck up and mind your own business. That's what they usually do.
Well, I
No,
mean,
I
yeah,
know I'm being me now when I'm saying
well,
stuff
nobody
like
wants to
that.
be corrected. I get that, but I mean, at the same time, I just don't get how somebody would look at this and go, "Well, I guess we got to do it."
That is the mindset of some people: is something is better than nothing. That's what they say down south. I don't know in Colorado, but down south they will say that. They will try to rationalize it by saying that.
Well, I mean, something is better than nothing, but you got to
That
figure. But you got, yeah, but this, or you got to figure out if it is even something.
right.
Like, to me, this isn't something. This isn't.
No, it's nothing.
This is a problem. This is
Okay, that's the sheetrock. Yeah.
okay.
That's 36 things of sheetrock. So that was probably one with the $50 one, and that was by yourself that you had to unload 36 pieces of sheetrock.
See, in my experience, I don't know about in yours, but when I usually get to these places, people are cool. They usually see you struggling a little bit, and
Mhm.
they're like, "Hey, can I help?" Maybe.
I mean, maybe not. I
I
don't
mean, I
really
guess it
get a
depends on if somebody's free, but like usually those type of people aren't like ignoring you. Oh, I don't want to help him.
right.
They're
Yeah.
either, if they're busy, they're busy. But if they see you struggling, I've had people several times come over and go, "Can I help?" And actually, I don't even need the help. It's unloading
Well,
paint. It's my job. I'm like, "No, I got it, man. Thank you, though."
now with that one, I think if that was by your now I've handled like 30 pieces of sheetrock, and I made like 180 on that. And there were guys at the construction site who helped take them take them out my van, but they were loaded by forklift, and they were so glad to see my van because people had showed up in cars and pickup trucks and SUVs and couldn't handle that. They
Yeah.
needed that's the other thing. I keep bringing this up though, but a lot of times people will show up in the wrong vehicles, and I did a segment about staying in your lane. And but I understand they see the dollar amount and they figure, what the fuck, I'll take a chance.
Yeah. I'm going to find a Yugo. I'm just going to do it for pure spite and humor. And I'm just going to see the biggest orders and be like, well, I got to get it in that thing.
Yeah.
And see if somebody even tries to help me. Like,
Oh, I
oh,
know. I know what a card that would be. They'll make the same laughs. Imagine trying to do that in a smart car.
right.
That's about this. That's about the same engine side, engine capacity, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
A Yugo might win in a race.
it'll be a close race.
And I don't know if you wanted this to show this receipt.
Yes, I did. I wanted to
Okay.
show just how exploitative Bungie is, and Rody for that matter. A lot of us have talked about, at least in my market, about how these companies are getting over on us, and so this is where you really have to be strategic at what you're doing, because you got to understand they're taking big cuts. And if you can see there where it says home delivery taxable, they charge the customer $85. I happen to do this order, and you can call me a thirsty fool or not, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you how much I actually got paid ultimately, though. The order showed up on Bungie for $46 and change. This was early Saturday morning, and I'm thinking, okay, it wasn't that heavy. And I'm like, oh, okay, what the fuck? I mean, I can use the gas money. All right.
Yeah.
I was paid $46, moved the furniture to the guy's place, but he tipped me $30. So I made $76 on this particular order. But thing is, $85 is what they charge the customer, but Bungie was only going to pay me 46. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And a lot of these, and in fact, that one of the first bungees I did with
Yeah.
another
And then,
guy.
and if you guys notice, like, if you see at the top, you see 537 for the item, but then you
Mhm.
see 8570. They don't even break that apart into any kind of description either. Like, hey, we're Bungie and we only give the driver half of this.
Mhm. No, and that's the other
They
thing.
literally, because the old me before gig work would have
Mhm.
thought that you got that whole 8570, that's the delivery price.
You're right. Yeah.
I mean, just human nature in me would have
Mhm.
just said, well, the logic is that's what is being paid.
And we're not. We're not. And that's
No,
the thing. And
no.
even with Curri, for somewhat decent paying, if you can get the right opportunities with Curri, I don't know if Curri gives a breakdown of what you're being paid, but they don't. The unfortunate thing with many of these apps, and this is your thing, Steve, transparency. There is
Yeah,
no
big time.
transparency. You don't know what the fuck you're being paid. You don't know
So
what the breakdown is.
by the way, guys, the difference between what Geezer sees Curry and what I see and what most of you see is a big one, because he's on the bidding side of Curry.
Mhm.
Like he
So
makes bids. Like I have like I'll show you here in a minute. I just have offers come through and they're 100% transparent.
mhm.
So, but like here's my roadies, and I got to put this up because look, guys, this is how my map looked on. Well, I think it was Friday. Okay. And that's fairly normal. I opened it up an hour later. It was the same, if not more. I opened it up an hour late. Nobody was taking any of these. And I want to show you near the end of the day what roadie wanted to pay for something. Now, if you don't know the Colorado landscape, where it says end is putting you deep into the foothills. And on a Friday, coming back at 5:30
Good
to
luck,
like
huh?
even get near start time, it's going to be about 4 hours, 3
Wow.
hours. But they wanted 11 deliveries done, 79 miles in this pattern on Friday traffic, leaving start point at like 3:30. Just couldn't everything couldn't have been worse. Um, they say again, like Geezer was saying, and we were talking about it on this app, 3:35. I can tell you, not a chance. I couldn't do 3 hours and 35 cents, or 3 hours 35 minutes is what I could do on a Saturday to do this trip, because after you see where it says golden and then it goes into the mountains, then you see blue sky and end, that's where you can only do 20-25 miles an hour.
Wow.
That's, you're going up into the foothills, you're going up, up, up. And I'm just saying, like, this to me this isn't a bad offer. This is a money loss. I would spend it all in gas. I mean, I'd kill an entire tank of gas to do this, even though that it shouldn't. But so before I move into these Curry ones, though, I wanted to show you guys. So I've been getting weekend curries. I was on a weekend curry, and pair of works offers have been coming in. I know that Kim took her first one just today.
Mhm.
Somebody else, they've been coming through a lot, and this isn't Parapass. Actually, tomorrow night on the Para channel, we have uh, Dashing Trader is going to join David and I. We're going to talk about the history, kind of our history with DoorDash.
Mhm.
But here's the Para Works offer. So it comes in $35 for 1.5 miles. Now, what we're getting at Paraworks is all what's called catering orders. However, we do get these weird ones that are more business oriented. And really, the order is not going to be much. Like or at least I haven't seen them be much. But I would have taken this. I sent it to Tony, and I was like, Tony, Driven Dad, I was like, take this, because I can't get it.
Mhm.
But so the more breakdown here on it is, yeah, I mean, if you do see it, you guys, and you see that blue checkbox, and if you can accept the job, just accept it. Now, Gigan's in here. Gigan, I'm going to use your example because Gigan was in a meeting today. He's in Minneapolis, and he was talking to me we were texting yesterday, I believe, and he was saying how he hasn't seen many curries lately. He was in a meeting today, and this one came in for 203 miles, $300
Ooh.
for one item weighing 10 pounds. I know what that is. That's Sherman-Williams paint. That's
Mhm.
that's a can of paint. That's 2 cans of paint. That's not even a 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah. Um, that's kind of like what I did today. Going from Sumter to Jacksonville. This is basically the same in terms of dollar per mile and all.
Yeah, this one's good. I'm about to show
Yeah.
what 4 bads and why I wouldn't take them. And I'm going to show you, because I show you guys ones that pay amazing local here. But like here, I'm going to tell you guys this. Like, this is an awful, awful order. Awful order. This one, I've told you guys my basic math. A dollar there, 50 cents back. That's what I logically look for, but I can adjust. But on anything to Aspen, I want $1 on every mile driven there and back, because there's construction. When you get near Aspen, it's 25 miles an hour. It through about 4 different. This is not. Don't do the miles and think that's a 3-hour trip. It's a 5-hour trip to Aspen from Denver.
Now, if I may ask, Steve, this is where I've often said where you have to know your market, not so much as the places, but knowing your market, whether knowing your market geographically.
Yeah.
Because if you know where you're going, you're going to avoid many of your pitfalls of not making any money on your opportunities. This is, and if by the fact that Steve knows that it's going to take forever to get to Aspen from Denver, I yield to you on that one, man. It's a bad deal.
Yeah, because somebody else would see this. Like if I just moved here today, I might take this because I'd think 160 some odd miles. That's what, it's 2.5 hours each way. I'll be back in 5 hours.
Mhm.
You'll be back in 9 to 10 hours. Trust me. It's just
Um,
what it is.
what I've learned, for example, with some of my brokered opportunities, if I get a like one to Atlanta, I'm looking for more money because it's Atlanta and
Yeah.
Atlanta traffic. More than likely, it's going to the airport. If it's Charlotte, I'm thinking of the same thing. If it's like Dulles Airport, same thing. There are certain places I'm thinking more money. I'm not just thinking, you know, taking it up a little more, a bit. No, I'm taking up some more to try to make it worth my while.
Yeah. I mean, this one might be the example. No, this one isn't it. So this one's Colorado Springs. You guys know I hate going there. I do almost do $1 a mile there and back. So anything going this, it's always 65 to 80 miles, depending where in Colorado Springs from Denver. So I
That's
always look
steep.
for almost $1 a mile each way because the traffic, again, coming again, like you were just saying about your market, that traffic is going over the hill, leaving Denver to Castle Rock, and then going past the Air Force there. That's it's traffic 24 hours a day. At 2 in the morning, it's traffic.
Hmm.
It's one of those places, and it's stop go. You don't move for a while.
Wow. That
So,
sounds
I
like,
mean, I don't even like the offer to begin with. It's not great at all. If it was like to the east where it's just dead highway, maybe. I doubt it though, because I look at least for the $1.50. But um, what was this one? Oh, to Evergreen. So I used to live in Evergreen, and where they want you to go here isn't just Evergreen. It's going way again. You got to know you got to know where you're going because in Evergreen, it's very slow and it's dirt roads. It can be dirt
mm,
roads at the end.
mm.
And I mean, it's not like that; those are being changed either. It's been dirt roads for 50 years. They're always going to be dirt roads.
Wow.
That's
So you
just how
got
it is up there.
so you're gonna be like Kit Carson or the
Yeah, I
Pony
mean,
Express.
a good, I always I have a friend who lives about where the delivery's going, which
Mhm.
yes, it's in the Evergreen zip code, but for me to get downtown Evergreen takes me about a half hour from here. For me to get from downtown Evergreen to his house can take 25 minutes to a half hour, but it's only like 11 miles.
Wow. Again, y'all, we're not. This is not a crabbing, bitching session here. Steve asked me to participate with this, just to show some things, somewhat objectively, why these may be bad orders, and some explanation as to why they're bad orders. And so,
And this one isn't awful, guys. It's not the worst, but it's not good.
as we say, not all money is good money.
Yeah. So
And so yeah, you have to make that decision if it's good money for you or not. Um, but if you're going to make the money that some folk do share on YouTube, then you have to make decisions that are not like this one here and others that we've shown so far.
yeah, yeah. Even this one I brought up because this one I was a little like weary to bring up because I'm like, okay, it's only 19 miles. That's actually, it's almost the $2 a mile to take it.
Hmm.
So I'm like, and then you're in Boulder. I got to bring up that this kind of reminds me of your Atlanta thing, even though Boulder's a very small city. It's going from Denver to a very small city, but it's
It's
hard to
college town.
get in and out of Boulder.
It's college town, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
But it's also like into the valley and like
okay.
just the way Boulder is, like you got to, not that you don't everywhere, but you have to extra obey every law. They have, it's difficult. It's stressful to
Oh,
go into Boulder.
by the way, y'all, now I'm of the generation who remembers the show Mork and Mindy, and Mork and Mindy was based off of Boulder, Colorado.
They actually have a plaque in front of the house on the cement.
Okay,
Yeah,
for
because
for
for the what they used for the shot of the house.
Okay.
Yeah. So it actually, for whatever reason, they actually did. I don't know where they filmed it, but they actually did use that house
Okay.
for whatever reasons. But yeah, I mean, these are not good orders, guys. And the other thing is, like, when I say that this one isn't, like, for example, it's because I know if I wait, I'll see Aurora to Parker, which is where Tony lives, staying in Denver, not having to go any elevation gain or anything for this same price, if not more. Like, it's so weird because, like, I guess here's my thing is that with DoorDash, you just expect bad, 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 bad kind of thing. With Curri, you got to remember, it's like, who are you got to learn to figure out where these are coming from too, because, like, once you start learning the locations, and it's pretty easy, you'll
Mm-hmm.
start using them more and more and more. You'll start seeing a lot of the same type places, like Ferguson Plumbing, Sherman Williams. I'm going to take all those almost blindly if they're at least in my zone or like somewhere I'd want to be, because I can almost blindly, I just know that they offer good even out of the gate,
Mm-hmm.
but these are not good.
As a rule of thumb, this is one thing that, well, let me share this again, y'all. When I was doing primarily gig food delivery work, I got to averaging, at least in my market, over 6,000 a month. And one of the things I used to do when I would look for DoorDash orders or Uber orders or Grubhub orders, I'd look at the restaurant. When the restaurant would pop up on my at the top of the screen, usually tell you the restaurant maybe a dollar amount. I'm looking at the restaurant because if it tells me Red Lobster, it may be some money on that one. So kind of like what you're saying with Sherwin Williams, whereby you kind of know that this may be worth your while. Let me look a little further.
Yeah. Yeah, and then just to kind of round it out, I know this isn't a last mile courier service, but I had one of my dumpling clients extra tip me for doing a little extra work when I got to her house. Again, dumpling requires you to land your clients. So I've had this client for a while. She's by no means, I don't have any bad. I don't have a ton either. I'm still working on it, but I have some good regular ones, and she's definitely not the biggest tipper one or the one who always pays me the best or whatever. But I've set up my payment where I get paid well, but she gave me an extra tip. So, she sent it through at kind of it says, September 29th, 2 to 4. That was the block that she booked, but she booked it on September 29th at 2:30.
Mm,
So that was kind of a thing with me too. I was like, how do I set up? I need to check. How do I set up my dumpling to not take it once it's in the 2 to 4 zone? Because I don't want to get those like that again. Because it was like 2:30. It's like, you have till 4 to deliver this. And I was like, well, what if I was doing a Curri?
mm,
I wouldn't have been able to do this. I could have, like, really upset a client. So I need to see how I can better do that, or at least like I did in this case, I talked to her. It says 12 units. That's only because most of my Curri or my dumpling clients put in only 1 unit, and then they send me a picture of a handwritten list.
wow.
So they're they want some particular stuff or whatever. But here was the breakdown. So the shopping and delivery fee that I charge is uh what is it? I think I have it at 15% now. So 15% of your grocery bill. She did there. They have good options for gratuity.
Hmm.
She picked 20%, and I have 15, 20, 25 custom. That's how I have mine set. So she picked the middle one. So that's good. And then I get to my earnings, and my earnings would have been 40.97. By the way, this whole thing round trip, uh I was at my house, left, did it from here, shopped, took it to her house, got back to my house, was about an hour 10.
Hmm.
But so it would have been 40.97 on what I saw up front, that she had tipped me 20%, that I was gonna, it would have been 47, 48, whatever. But then I have my processing fee to dumpling. But then she threw in an additional $20. And all she asked me to do was at first she said, could I bring her groceries in? Which I usually do for all my clients anyway, because I love it. Because one of the things I hate about Instacart is that we've taught people to throw groceries in the dirt. Food doesn't belong in the dirt. So of course I'd rather bring it inside for you. Of course. I
Hmm.
mean, you should get the full service when you're paying for something like this. So I'm happy to do that. But she said to me that she would give me an extra tip. She said, "Can you just take my dog for a quick walk around the block?" Now I
Okay.
hadn't done any of that with her before. I'd met the dog a couple times, but I was like, "Sure, why not?"
Mm,
Like,
you're a good guy, man.
well, she, some people might say, "But you knew about the tip." I probably would have done it anyway. But like,
Mhm,
regardless, she's outright said, "I'll throw on an extra tip." So I wasn't like, only if you do that, but I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do that for you, no problem.
mhm,
So I love the thing I love about Dumpling is that every only one of the clients I've got, like I have four, and I had five. The fifth one just doesn't use any apps anymore. It's not like they went away from me or back to Instacart or something. And the other people that all the clients I still have, I've had for a while, and they all came to me, A, word of mouth, but B, all had horrible experiences on Instacart, all of them.
mhm.
So one good thing about, I was talking to somebody about, like, I don't know if you know this geezer, about like I was talking to Holly about making flyers and cards and like
Uh,
just going out on Instacart with a bang and putting
mhm.
my flyer in every order. Like, hey man, why are you doing this? I will hook you up. I'll make your groceries. Because the other thing is I can do multi shops. It's like a personal assistant on Dumpling, and you can
Right.
get the unlimited on the credit card.
Mhm,
So like if you need $500 of stuff from PetSmart, 500 from the grocery store, 200 from the butcher, I can go get all that on the Dumpling credit card.
and as long as they pay you, you got no problem.
Well, yeah, and they're running it off their banks, the
Mhm,
customers' banks. I mean, it's not like they're in a, but they only, if you saw on mine on my payments,
mhm.
761 processing fee. I wanted to point that out because if you guys were to see this kind of screen with DoorDash, you'd stop driving for them tomorrow.
Mhm.
Like if you saw the actual what you got out of the payment, kind of like what you were saying about your payment, that showed 87 for Roadie, or
It
not
was
not
for
Roadie,
it was Bungie. You
Bungie.
talking about yeah,
Right. But I mean like how it said 87 and you got half of that.
yeah,
I
barely,
mean
yeah.
like
Mhm,
this is a fair percentage, and it's up front. It tells you this is what we charge for you to
mhm,
use the credit card and the service and the platform.
mhm.
So again, it doesn't, I have had a couple bites, but it doesn't feed you clients. You're not being fed clients by any means. So let's go over to the chat and see who's in here and see, because I'm sure I saw some people I'm sure might have a question. Maybe not, but let's see. Um, hey, what's up, Scrabble? What's up, Bud Soda? What's up, Carnifage? You saw Curry today. $31 for 20. Yeah, and you're in Vegas. But at the same time, I'll say you were saying that you were seeing no Curries forever. At least they're there now. It takes a minute for them to get up to speed. So
Yeah. Hey, Miko, just acknowledging you there.
there's a medication RN on my roadie, $88 for 200. Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
this is offensive and embarrassing. And
Hmm.
this is what I was saying last week about Roadie specifically. Like, look, we can pick on any app really at any given day,
Right.
but it's to what level? And I'm now putting Roadie at the bottom of my trash apps.
Well, Brody and Bungie are running neck and neck. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it
for
under
me.
DoorDash with Roadie.
Yeah, it is. You know,
I
it is.
mean, it's bad. It's real bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, so Bud Soda I think you were asking this about Curry. Curry does on my side. On Geezer's side, he's doing the bidding because he has a larger vehicle.
Right.
I can't remember if it's called the carrier side or what, but
Yes, carrier side, and
yeah. So
you got to have commercial insurance, and
yeah,
you typically have to register, let them know about your USDOT number or MC number to go with it as well. So you're
1,000 pounds can be done in a Ranger. See, you're the guy that would take it, man. Don't take those, Bud Soda. That's that's what we were saying, man.
Hey, if you want to mess up your suspension, your engine, be my guest, man. But
Yeah. So hi, even Oscar, how are you? Chicago. And I know you were doing Fuda with the para thing, right? I wonder how that turned out for you. Of course you meant to stack. we knew that, man. Come on. What's up, Cruising Dasher? What's Derek says something about a Yugo here. A Yugo would break on the way there. No,
possibly.
a Yugo wouldn't get out of the driveway. And if you still have a Yugo, I'll buy it if it runs. I'll even come get it. Because I really think that they're going to be the rarest things ever.
Well, I mean, remember the Corvairs?
No.
Those are those are really bad machines as well. I mean, I guess they're like the Edsel. If you remember the Edsel.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, Josh? Yeah, I mean the thing about I see that, yeah, Traveler's right, is that is a Yugo. It's the Bic lighter of cars. It's disposable, but they were cheap. They were cheap.
Yes,
guys.
yes. In fact, we're talking 1988.
Yeah.
And a Yugo was going for like $3,900.
Yeah.
39. And the Hyundai XLs, the first Hyundai XLs were going like 45, 4,900.
Yeah.
And then again, my brand new Ford Escort, the sticker price is $89.95.
Yep. Yeah. See, I remember the high school I went to. I had a Chevette four speed, a Chevy Chevette. I remember two buddies of mine had Yugos, and then some of the kids that wanted to buy better cars but still come in at that lowest entry point they could bought Datsun 280Zs and then kind of souped them up a little bit.
280.
Was it the 280Z?
You mean the sports?
No, the little, yeah. But they were
B210
but they were all, but these were all the beaten ones that were.
They
were cheap. They weren't kids. These weren't kids with a lot of money. They were getting these things.
It couldn't have been a 280Z because that was your fashionable sports car. It probably was a B210. Was it a hatchback?
Yeah,
that was B210. I had one.
Yeah. Okay.
And the joke with my family was that it didn't make it out of Third Ward. So it was Third Ward is like inner city Houston. And my uncle lived out in Missouri City, the next county, and so I couldn't get out the city at the thing, man. So anyway,
so Carnifage has got up to 47, so that offer got up to 47, and you did take it. So now you got a Curri under your belt too, because the other thing is 5. We just saw it with Tony, and I told him that's what it would be, and it did happen on his 5th delivery. He got a driver score, so that's good.
But so to saying, I'm showing my age. I said I'm a geezer. Damn, man. You know what? I just happen to look good for. I guess you can say that. I happen to look well for my age. I've not aged as much as some people in my demographic.
Yeah, I say that sometimes about people 10 years younger than me who have aged worse than me, that I've known a long time. Where I'm like, I mean, I don't say it, but in my head, I'm thinking, you're not aging well. Life's not being kind there. But so what's up, Jason Terry? How are you? You got a podcast here in a few minutes, I think. But you guys check out the Gig Economy podcast. It's a good one.
Joe says he's get 20 Curri offers a day. Wow.
Wait, who does?
Joe.
Let me see. Joe's in Colorado too.
Okay.
So, but so where is it? Sometimes I see 20 to 30 offers a day, but a lot of times those are offers rising.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. they're not a new offer. But
well, I think we've all been talking about how things have kind of slowed down, even on the last month. Well, at least I could say in the southern region, we've often spoken of how things have slowed down. So if you are seeing 20 offers in a day, And if you're really the, I guess you say the aggressive go-getter type, you're probably expecting to get maybe 5 or 6 of them. So that
Yeah.
could be a pretty good day.
Right. I mean, I make my whole day on curry. I do 3
Mm-hmm.
in the morning. That starts me, and then I just kind of see what trickles in. I always
Mm-hmm.
do a 5:30 scheduled, a 7 a.m. scheduled, and then I always get one after that, no matter what. It's like it's the time where somebody didn't show up to do theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody
Hey.
scheduled one and they didn't show up and they send it to me. And the first thing I do, and I guess I'll tell you guys this, I know a lot of you don't like going this extra step, and I mean, if it dissuades you, it does. It is what it is. I'm not here to tell you to do it or not. I'm just here to speak the truth. But I call Curri immediately once I do take that third one, and I say, my guess is that, or you can do it through the chat, but do it one way or another. Have it noted, because I always put in here, hey, this better not affect my driver score negatively, because my guess is this was a 7 a.m. scheduled that didn't get picked up. Because sometimes they'll show you as late on those, often, in fact, and they are aware of it. They are working on it, but it still shows up. And I don't like to. I see these offers and I'm like, I'm happy to do it. I just don't want to get a bad rating for it, because the rating
Right.
matters.
Yeah, because if according to the app you're late, you get nicked some points, and that's the unfortunate thing about when I get them on the carrier side. A lot of times these orders have been out for a while, and when you finally get it and you get there, it's saying that you're late, and maybe I need to contact them about that.
Paraworks is in all cities. Parapass is not. Parapass is the big one coming. It's rolling out in Chicago right now. We're in a bunch of other cities. It's here in Denver, um, but it's not. It's not everywhere. Um, but Paraworks is everywhere. So, um, what is this one?
Atlanta perimeter. Oh, buddy, that's bad. That is bad. I mean, that 285, 285, it's going to intersect with I-75, I-85, and I-20. And yes, she's right. It's bad.
So what did Bud Soda say about 50-50 transparency here? I'm just going back up a little. So that business model sounds almost like 50-50 split. Yes,
it's not really 50-50 split.
Yeah, I think he's talking about your Bungie, and I wouldn't say that's 50-50 split at all, because they're being completely untransparent and not honest.
Mm-hmm.
So they shouldn't. I guess my point is, they're supposed to be making their money on the item being sold, not the delivery. So
right. Well,
what they show is the delivery fee should be a delivery fee, not half of it is to us and the other half goes to all the work being done.
Right. Let me give you a better example, Bud. So one of the first bungees I did, it was a pickup at a Federal Express freight forwarding, and not knowing any better, myself and another guy, we were initially paid $88. What we found out, that entire delivery was $800, and the only reason why we made more was because we were told we would be dividing among ourselves 5 pallets. It was like 5 pallets to take out to the lake area to this really loaded guy. Come to find out, there was like 7 or 8 pallets, so we had to make 2 trips. And before we made the second trip, we contacted Bungie, and Bungie upped it to where we both made $190 each. But in the process, we found out that Bungie, well, at least the entire delivery cost was $800. And Bungie was kind of hemming and hawing about paying us the extra money. So we went from seeing, what was it, between the two of us, 25% of that money made at not even 25%, maybe less than 20% of the money going to us initially, to roughly half of the money going to us now, if you're talking of a 50-50 split. But we still didn't know what our cut was. We still didn't know. But Bungie really didn't want to come off that money, man. But we've always, myself and that guy, guy I've worked with multiple times, we've talked about how Bungie has gotten over on the drivers. And then if you talk of the other apps like Roadie, it's widely believe that Rhodey gets at least half off the top as well.
Yeah. I mean,
Now,
at this point, I'm really questioning what Rhodey's taking.
now I know that these apps have got to keep their lights on. They've got to pay their people as well. But we are the disposable parts of this. We are the necessary evils. And somehow we're treated that way as well. We're nothing more than blips on the algorithm. And uh, the only way, the only way around it is that you've got to outthink them in order to make any appreciable amount of money on these apps.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Derek obviously was talking. Derek lives in my market too.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows how bad that roadie for $66 going into the mountains on Friday was.
Right.
I mean, he's saying you can't imagine. I can almost I can imagine him saying this. You can't imagine how terrible this is. Like unless you live here, which you pointed out, you really do. It's not as easy. One thing about roadie is Bud Soda first told me this because I really hadn't seen it in a lot of apps. You can zoom completely out and into any city you want
Yeah.
and see what's going on in that city. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, I guess this would be an example of that. If you were to do that and you don't live here and you were to zoom in and go, well, it's not horrible. Yeah, it's horrible, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not something
Well,
you do.
yeah, a good example was one of the early ones where it showed from Lexington to Estill. Well, Lexington is a city outside of Columbia, South Carolina. Lexington is like one of the is been on a upward trend of growth and all. So you might as well just group it with Columbia. Estill is in the sticks. I'm gonna give you how much of a sticks it is. I had to go. I went there 30 years ago with someone who attended a funeral. The house that they had the repast at, they didn't have a running toilet. They had literally an outhouse in a town called Estill. So I'm not.
Yeah.
You do not want that one. You don't even want to go to Estill for anything.
Yeah. So what is Giggins saying here? Oh, you must be talking about, I'm guessing, like a DoorDash or a Drizzly or whatever. You got an alcohol order, maybe. Maybe I'm getting this out of context. I don't know. But anytime somebody asks you to buy smokes, guys, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you because I know what I would do. I wouldn't do it. Not a chance. I'm not,
Right.
Because I mean, the other thing is like, especially if it's not alcohol, I already don't even really agree with that because I don't think their system is very, very good. I would hate to get caught selling. I worked around alcohol too much for too long that I know the last thing I would want in my world is accidentally selling to a minor.
Yeah. I guess another good example is if you do Uber or Lyft and you happen to be in a situation where you pick up a minor. Although I think it's changed now, but when I was doing rideshare, I have refused rides because it turned out that the person was underage.
Yeah.
And so no, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah.
None at all.
Steve, I'm still unable to see anything on Paraworks. I signed up for Fuda, but they suburb locations and I don't want to drive to down. Okay. Well, I will ask about, I'm not sure why you're not seeing, because I know where you are now. I don't want to tell other people, but even Oscar, you've told me I know where you are in Chicago, and all I'll say to people is that she's northeast part of Chicago.
Yeah. But so initially it was 88 on that roadie, but then um, we ended up getting 190 each.
Chris, you can Chris, you live and he's in New York City. All of these are going to be tough doing out in New York City. I know that like Kim in Jersey, she's close. She said she finally got onto Curri and she's seen a handful of offers, but she already is looking at them, knowing her market and saying, I'm not going into New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no way. I mean, they will cover your tolls and all that, but you got to weigh if it's worth it or not, because I can't imagine those. I've only, heard stories about how bad New York is.
I think you've mentioned this too, Steve. One of the things that we have to always take into consideration is a time element, because time is money with this.
Yeah.
The thing is with gig work and gig deliveries that you want to get something done as expeditiously as possible. I'll leave that $5 word on that one. And
Yeah.
so, if we can get from one to the other, then we have a chance to make money. But if we're stuck on this one order that's taking all day, we've lost.
Yeah.
We've lost, and it's our tough luck because we made that decision to take that order.
Yeah. And I see, Chris, I think I'm just going to guess by the timing of where we are on these chats is that that one is decent. I think you're talking about the one into Boulder. Again, I was just trying to explain that then I'm in Boulder and I'm going to see all these other Denver Curri orders coming at that time. And I'm going to be in Boulder 40 minutes away. And so it's going to kind of suck. I'm actually going to lose money because I'm going to lose those orders. And there's a lot going to Boulder, but there's never any coming out, barely, every once in a while. But so let's see, I had a pile of yeah, I saw the one you sent me that was ridiculous. Actually, that one that you sent me that was $4.99 for just a couple miles, that you were like, why is this even on the app? I had somebody else oddly email me that. So, and he's in your market, clearly. He's in Minneapolis too. So that was kind of weird. Hey, Miko. Let's see. You haven't seen Traveler. You haven't seen Curri in 29 days. That's weird. Lisa, rideshare Lisa, has seen. I saw her in another chat. She had seen some Curri. She hasn't been taking them because she said they're all over 100 miles. And I keep telling her that was the whole point of signing up. Yeah, you're going to drive over 100 miles. And you do rideshare. You're rideshare Lisa. So you can turn on your filter to go back to Syracuse because you guys are in the same market. But so, yeah, okay. There's a geezer showing his age. Yeah, okay, well. But we're not also. I mean, we look better for our age than not to be mean, Bud Soda. I saw you got a haircut, but if you keep working 110 hours a week, you're not going to look real good when you get our age, man. I'm just saying.
and without telling on Steve, though, Steve knows that I'm older than him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not young, but I mean, like,
Steve would be a younger brother to me.
you got to get some sleep, man. It's crucial. Because yeah. I mean, 5-10 years from now, every day will feel different than it does when you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worse. It's just different. I don't know. I mean, look, geezer's still out doing these. I'm still out doing these. In fact, all these people are still doing DoorDash and all these other apps and not doing well on them. I'm still I'm hauling mass amounts of paint. I don't mind. I don't even mind the workout, to be honest.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it. It's exercise.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd rather be doing that stuff anyway, getting the long mile hauls, and I'm traveling around those. Yeah, so yeah, leave your Curri on it if you're asking. Yes, Curri isn't market specific. When you hit new markets, it will pick up on orders there.
That is one of the good things. Even you can even say this about DoorDash though, but with many of your last mile apps, if you go to other markets, you're able to catch opportunities. As I mentioned at the onset, I had a brokered opportunity that took me to Jacksonville, Florida. While I was there, I picked up a last mile app opportunity. Yeah. And so I did that, and I did that intentionally, knowing that I had stood a chance of making some additional money while I was there in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So
I had talked to the Curri team about, the only problem was that, I have my son full time and it's senior year, but I honestly would have gone to, I would have helped them, not as like so much a promotion, but to get it kicked off, because they start new cities all the time. So like if they launch a new city, I would say, I'll go there. just give me all the orders till you get some drivers and I'll go there. And I would just go from new market to new market and just rage them and then let them onboard some drivers. And I'd go to the next.
Well, that's technically that's how you make your money on these apps, though. It's like you're going to make your most money when the apps first are introduced.
Always.
Yeah.
Always, because they don't have enough drivers and they're
Right.
not oversaturated. They're not even saturated. I mean, they're not even up to their par. So they're definitely throwing out crazy offers in the beginning. But yeah, and that's the other thing. Yeah, see, Derek heard it. That's the other thing, Derek, is that I have a glimpse into that crystal ball of where those upcoming cities are. Because I always asked Curri, like, why don't, because some places do, why don't you list on a map what cities you're in? And they said, because we have a better pay system for the drivers. I said, 100% agree. And they said, and every time we actually used to do that, like when I was coming on, there was only like 50 cities. They said we used to do that, but then it made Dispatch, Freight, and all these others come after those cities real hard in our clients. So now we just don't list them. So, like on the website, some other websites, you can go there and see what cities they're in. DoorDash, they're everywhere kind of thing. But
right.
With some of these apps, they're being a little more careful now. And I guess I can see why, because somebody'd come after their clients trying to make them have to undercut them. So, it's crazy because like a roadie would, if my thought was like, if a roadie knew that Curri was going to go into this market, they'd go in and cut the prices in half and then try and make Curri fight to go under that. So it's like not even a race to the bottom. It's like coming in and bidding the bottom.
Right. $1.
Yeah, no, we're just going to, hey, we are in this market now. We're not going to give good service. We're not going to, but we're going to offer crap pay. But okay, so there was the answer it was DoorDash, Thai food, and smokes. Not a chance. Not a chance. I get it. I understand from the customer standpoint why they are looking to do that. They got home from work, they're ordering some food, and they're like, "Oh, I'm out of smokes," and they want that pack of smokes, and they've already kicked their feet up for the evening. I get it, but they got to remember that even Drizzly, like, we're just not allowed to do that. So I personally wouldn't take that risk. I don't know. I mean, if it's somebody you've delivered to many times, if you have some relationship with them, if you have their phone number in your phone and can call them, maybe then, because maybe then if you really know them, you could call and say, hey, yeah, I'll do this, but let's not, just pay me cash or something like that. Like it's you doing them a favor, not part of the job. I would try and very much distinctify those two. Yeah, but other than that, guys, that's all I got. Geezer, what do you got? Anything? You got any big orders coming? That's one thing I'm missing, is that it's been like 3 weeks since I've even been offered an out-of-state offer. So I'm like literally waiting because or in-state to the opposite corners kind of thing. I haven't had a really long offer in a while, and I want one. Like I'm looking for a long one, so I'm kind of fishing right now. If one comes in, I'm almost going to blindly grab it.
Well, actually, what I've been doing is really just trying to stay busy. And what I mean by that, I shared in a recent video how I had a zero earnings day, first ever zero earnings day, and part of it was because I lost a wheel bearing while trying to travel to an opportunity, and so now I'm really just trying to get back into seeing, getting opportunities as I was getting maybe a couple of weeks ago, and so but so that includes the brokered opportunities, the last mile apps, and then maybe a smattering of the gig food apps. So that's really what's been going on.
Yeah, right on. Well, you guys, if you haven't yet, I mean, look, I think most of you, Geezer and I know most of you. First of all, if you're not subscribed to his channel or mine, you should subscribe. Why are you here and not subscribed?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Subscribe.
It's
Really
free.
appreciate it.
It's free.
Yeah.
And
And
it
there's
helps us out.
useful content.
Yeah.
I mean, we've both talked about this as well last couple of times that I've appeared on his live streams. You've got people out there that are just reading from their computer screens and regurgitating information. We're giving you actual experiences and actual information, useful information. So those of you who've hung out with us in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah. And it wasn't doom and gloom, guys. That wasn't, I mean, I know some of you might have thought maybe that was the episode title. It wasn't like it was like that. It was just to show you that it's not all gold. I know some of you think like, geez, your curries are just all gold. No, you're just seeing what I take. And I've got pretty good at it over 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so one last thing, Steve, if it's okay.
Yeah.
What I also want to share is that I think many of y'all who've been in the chats, y'all have been around. So in a sense, we're almost been talking among the choir, but there may be someone who listens that is trying to really try to get their feet under them in terms of working these apps. We didn't start out being able to say or differentiate whether this is a bad order or not. That takes time. Takes time. And so I remember taking orders, at least the Walmart orders that were for $8 and $9 because I really didn't know any better. And that was what was available in the app on the market. And particularly on the Roadie app, you didn't really know that if you wait long enough, that order could go up. Yeah. So these are things that you learn with experience. The old adage is experience is your best teacher. So while you're out there, when you make mistakes, try to learn from them. And while you're out there, if you happen to be listening to what Steve and I have been talking about, hopefully this will kind of get your antennas up to where you might start thinking about things a little differently, to where you can make more money and not say that, hey, these apps suck and I ain't making nothing, so fuck it, I'll go back and do a W-2.
Yeah. And if you do that, that's fine. Maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe somewhere in the back of your head, it's telling you to go back to a W-2. I don't know, but it also, like, if you're like you were just saying, that's a good point, because if you're just starting, we're giving you useful knowledge, but you don't need to apply it to the T, like $1.50 return. Nope, not doing it. You can take one under it. Learn. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we're trying to at least give you some jumping points. Look, don't take anything ridiculous. Like,
right, because
you're here, you're listening, so don't.
Yeah, the only person you can blame then is yourself.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, there is a point of like just getting some under your legs on the platform. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to get 2, 3, 5 done before you even understand how it works. Mm-hmm. So, but at the same time, I think that if you've even done 1 or 2, I think that we do provide useful information, because we're telling you, look. And we say market to market, and you hear it a lot, but like today we were trying to explain it. Geezer had examples of like going around all that water and how it wasn't what it appeared to be. I told you guys going into the mountains wasn't what it appeared to be. That map makes it look much different. And it's a whole different story. I mean, like, mountains are hard. Going around water is hard. I don't know, how much extra it is. And, I mean, you just make sense of things, and if you're especially if you're traveling and you're in a new market and trying to work that, really, really, look at the map and maybe look at traffic maps throughout the day, and see where it's really heavy and stuff. And so you can at least like start to learn those kind of things. Mm-hmm. But, take what works for you. I just know there's a lot of people out there who are very much struggling. We go through waves of this a lot, but this is normally that time of year when it really starts picking up. I mean, we're in October now, and DoorDash is struggling. They're struggling hard. I don't know what's going on over at DoorDash. And then I saw this email today that if you have over, 20,000 dashes or 25 or 30, you're being paid these bonuses now. But I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that is gonna. I don't know if I know anybody that's gonna get any of that. You get $1,000 if you're over 20,000. You get like 2,000 if you're over 25, and you get like 5,000 if you're over 30,000 dashes and have done one in the last 90 days.
Nova.
Oh yeah, Nova.
Yeah, because he had over 20,000 when he went through that infamous deactivation.
They'll probably deactivate him again though, so they don't have to pay him. So that's the other thing is that do you want to claim it? Because they'll probably just go, all right, never mind. Like you're deactivated.
Says Steve, you're looking good for somebody in your 70s.
I'm not in my 70s. Yeah, but I'm. Yeah, no.
No, he's just.
I'm just your average low.
Learned and experienced.
Yeah. I hope I look as good as Geezer does when I get older. So, but again, I got to say, I honestly, we live in a very healthy place. Denver's a very healthy community. I know people in their mid 30s who look like they're in their mid 50s. Mm-hmm. It's pretty sad. Yeah. Some of them are smokers and stuff too. I don't know. That takes a toll on you for sure. So with that said, I guess money hungry guys, go over there and give them a like at least. Even if you're trying to get away from the DoorDash stuff or whatever, at least they talk about good stuff over there. And we'll see you back here next week. Thanks, guys.